Hello everyone! The announcement for Midnight has been, to put it nicely, a little bit all over the place. So today I'm gonna give you a rundown on the things that they've announced, the things you can expect when going into Midnight. Always do keep in mind, this is the announcement, things are subject to change. Our adventure begins after the intro cinematic, leveling from 80 to 90, starting together in the revamped Eversong Woods. Quel'Thalas is going to get a huge update. Flying is going to become available, part of the mainland, instead of needing to go through a portal and a loading screen, and the old version will still be available, with the aid of the Bronze Dragons. Having these lands be part of the main story means that both factions are going to hang out in the city, but part of it will still be Horde only, with the Alliance being kill on sight. We'll deal with the major threats in the zone, but also get a taste on what's happening elsewhere. A taste of what awaits. 3 paths to follow, and we get to pick where to go next. We could follow Addons and his interrogation of the lights, visiting places like Strefholm. We can go into Zul'Aman, now a full zone, and hang out with the Amani, the grandkids of Zul'jin. We can go into Harandar and party with the Haranir. Think the Na'vi from Avatar, who are gonna become our new allied race. Amongst the classes they can pick from are the druids with unique druid forms. Their racials include performing better against aberrations and elementals, they'll deal more damage and take a little bit less against those mobs, they'll get increased crit and healing, and they can summon roots to either heal their allies or damage their foes. Regardless of the order that we want to do them in, we will do all of them eventually, to then end up in the same final zone altogether, which is the Void Storm. Off-world, it's Xal'atath's base of operations, where the Void not only wants to consume us, but also each other. That conflict is reflected in the zone, as they've shown that the Alliance and the Horde are gonna have their own base, with their story NPCs, with a neutral PvP area, where you can duel, check out vendors, and portal to PvP areas. There will be regular world quests, but they also want to encourage open world PvP. Which to me sounds great, if they can fix the lag issues. And then there's a brand new battleground set in this Void Storm. It is called the Slayer's Rise. A 40v40 massive battle, inspired by previous ones like Alterac Valley or the Isle of Conquest, in which we need to push lanes, we need to do objectives, recruit neutral forces to help join the fight, dominate and devour the opposition. Leveling from 80 to 90 means 10 new talent points. There's gonna be 3 for the class tree. 3 points to put in the hero talent tree with a new lane of talents, and then 4 points to put in our spec tree, where they're going to add something called Apex Talents. You're not required to put your points in there, but they will try to encourage you, as it will offer impactful changes to the class. Oh, and a Statsquish has also been confirmed, so the numbers are going to go down again. For Demon Hunters, they're going to go a few steps further. Void Elves will be able to become Demon Hunters, the Horde getting something later down the line. And they're also getting a whole new spec added to the class itself, which is called Devourer. A mid-ranged DPS spec similar to Evokers, which will devour stuff on the battlefield to empower their abilities and keep their metamorphosis going. You will play with Cosmic Void Power, unleashed with meteors dropping down onto the battlefield and throwing out a massive collapsing star. With the questing and the zones, there's going to be 11 new delves. One of those for taking on our new nemesis. And Valera Sanguinar is going to replace Bran Bronzebeard as our delving companion. An opportunity to learn more about her story. 8 new dungeons, 4 while leveling, 4 at max level. With the Mythic Plus season once again being a combination of 4 new dungeons and 4 older ones. To be revealed which older dungeons are going to join the pool. At max level, we'll get 4 weekly things to do. As right now, with the War Within launch, there was the theater, there were the machines, turning on the lights, and the Rubians. In Midnight, this is gonna be Silvermoon Court in Eversong Woods. 4 different military groups within Silvermoon City, which we need to help out. Earn reputations and claim our rewards. It's supposed to invoke the feelings of reputation with the Aldor and the Scryers back in the Burning Crusade, so I imagine we're gonna go and poison each other's soup while increasing our standing with the factions. Abundance in Zul'Aman. We'll harvest materials for the Loa of Abundance. A super buffed collectathon, profession themed, so we'll mine and we'll gather, but you won't need a gathering profession to participate. You might get some bonuses if you are though, and the Abundance Caves are not just in Zul'Aman, we'll find them scattered throughout the zones. Legends of the Haranir in Harandar. We're gonna jump through magical paintings and learn about the forgotten past of the Haratri tribe. Bite-sized, lore-rich journeys, which you can skip if you want and just blast through, but I imagine for most of you watching this, you'll be excited about this new content to play through, learn more about the history. Then Stormarian assaults in the Voidstorm. We're gonna protect the Void Elves and their Singularity Anchor, which they're using to purge the Stormarian Citadel of remnant Void anomalies. Holding off the waves of enemies in a public event. Not just fighting ourselves, but we're also gonna be placing defenses to fight off these endless waves. And it's in the Void where you'll find one of the 3 major raids that are coming out with launch, for a total of 9 bosses. The Void Spire has 6 bosses, where, after finding our way in, we're storming the walls of Xal'atath's stronghold to try and stop her. The Dream Rifts, which will have 1 boss, more connected to the Haranir, where the veil between primordial dreams and brutal reality is thin. We're gonna hunt down this undreamt god, while combating partial nightmares emerging into existence. The potential of fighting against Azeroth's nightmare. For then, a bit later, to have a story come together with the March on Quel'Thanas. A 2-boss raid, which they haven't said much about story-wise. My personal hope is that this is where Xal'atath wins and plunges the world in darkness, but time is going to tell. Besides this endgame that we're familiar with from the War Within, there's also a new feature coming in, which is called Prey. You pick up a contract and you start hunting down a target, or the target might hunt you down. 3 different difficulties, with cosmetic rewards attached to it, but there's also going to be power gain, as it will count towards your vault in the Outworld tree, the same tree that your delves now count for. And the delves are a really good example, a good comparison, when thinking about how the Prey power reward system will work, right? Like they were talking about heroic gear, similar to how you get it in delves, as well as the difficulty for Prey, as they described the max difficulty to be similar to what the highest tier of delves offer right now. And seeing the success of delves, I'm hoping that this is going to be another great path of progression that's going to be available as an option. When raiding is done and the bad guys are defeated, perhaps you want to kick off your boots and hang out with your neighbors. Player housing is coming with Midnight, but a lot of the system is already going to be added with the War Within. Patch 11.2.7, at the end of the War Within, it will see housing decorations added to the game. So everybody who has WoW, who's playing WoW, you can work towards your furniture collection. But if you actually want a house to decorate, you will need to own the expansion Midnight. So houses will be available with 11.2.7 for those who have pre-ordered Midnight. But the actual neighborhood system, so we're talking about the challenges and the events that you can do with your community, those won't unlock until Midnight itself has released. Player housing is finally coming to World of Warcraft. Might be a great reason for players to come back into the game, or they might want to try it out for the very first time. But let's be fair, WoW is old, WoW is massive and kinda complicated, which they are aware of, and they're working towards improving. For a more detailed tutorial on how to play, Thrall and Jaina are gonna take us on a tour through Arathi. An experience that will teach us the ropes, show off things like interrupts, teach things like skywriting, an in-game tutorial teaching you the basics on how to play World of Warcraft. An experience you can jump in and out of at any time, but if you decide to finish it, you'll get a set of gear appropriate for your level. They're also experimenting with increasing the difficulty of open world content, which is gonna come in Legion Remix. And they're looking at that system to see if they might want to add this to retail as well. But first they want to see how Legion Remix plays out. Then Exile's Reach. This was introduced as a new starting experience to get you familiar with World of Warcraft, teach you some of the basics, and send you on your way towards whatever expansion might be relevant. This is gonna get an update as well, with heroes like Rephion, Alexstrasza, Khadgar, and a bunch of others. The story is going to be about them going off on a mission to the Dragon Isles. As this Forbidden Reach revamp, it will send you off into the Dragon Isles, into the Dragonflight expansion. You might remember how confused people were when they immediately ended up in jail within Kul Tiras. I'm thinking that Blizzard watched the Day 9 videos and they figured, you know what, an update might be in order. So We're gonna go from the Forbidden Reach into Dragonflight into the Waking Shores, but the other pathways of leveling, so Chromie Time or dungeons or just picking up your own zones, that will be available as well. It's your choice. Now say that you do go to the Dragon Isles, it won't be like it was before. The story of Dragonflight is going to be available as a leveling experience that will not just give you the starting zones, but will actually push you through the highlights. You get to go through the raids with story mode, so you can actually see those big patch moments all the way until the end of level 70. Dragonflight might not be considered as part of the World Soul Saga, but safe to say that plenty of important events happened in that expansion that are still relevant to the story. We'll face off against Razagev, Sarkarev and Firak with story mode, and this is something that they added with the War Within. It's a solo way of experiencing the end fight with a bunch of NPCs to help you out. A system now retroactively being added to Dragonflight to provide this full experience. And again, it will take you all the way to level 70. That means you still need 10 levels to get to 80 to get into Midnight, and those 10 levels can be done with a revamped leveling experience for the War Within. You get to go through the story in a few hours rather than the entire thing, which would take you much longer. Get up to speed on the highlights, be part of the experience, and dive into Midnight with everyone else. Like parts of the player housing, this improved tutorial, the Forbidden Reach updates, and the questing experience, this will be released at the end of the War Within, patch 11.2.7, so those who might be coming in for player housing or that want to check out the World Soul Saga, you can prepare for Midnight with that end patch. Let's not forget that Lor'Walker Cho is still out there, offering his lore walking. An interactive way of experiencing stories, which so far they've done for the Ethereals, Xal'atath and Arthas the Lich King, dropping some lore bombs with some of them being very relevant for the current story, something that I hope and imagine they're gonna continue forwards. Then the power of combat add-ons are going to be lowered, as they'll be able to draw less information from the game. But they're not just nuking add-ons and not replacing it, they want to incorporate it into the baseline game, which hopefully is gonna get rid of the idea of you need add-ons to play WoW, change the way that they design encounters, and provide a better experience for everyone. That's the plan on paper. Time is gonna tell how it's gonna play out. We'll see improvements to the in-game cooldown tracker and the one-button assistance, but there'll also be improvements to the nameplates, an in-house damage meter, boss timers, and overall better indicators as to what's going to kill you, what is to come, what you need to interrupt, what to prepare for, just an overall better UI and a better player experience. Hopefully. Battlegrounds are going to offer training grounds. Jumping into PvP right now is very much do or die, swim or sink. With this, they want to provide a way to learn the rules, the objectives, get a feel of the battleground against AI before you might take the step to take on players in the battlegrounds. We will get a Ruffy Basin, Silver Shard Mines, and Battle for Gilneas to practice in, with an AI that's a little bit smarter than what we've had in the past. All in all, fantastic updates in my mind. Anything that lowers entry into the game, anything that lowers the amount of times that you have to Google something to figure it out is a win in my book. Then, the best for last, Transmog is getting updates. Transmog is getting glamour plates, as in, you can lock in your set and you pay for that Transmog once. After you've set up the set, you can now swap into it without having to pay each time you apply. A one-time purchase, not just the item itself, but you will transmog the slot that it is in, so if you get new gear, it will automatically look like the transmog you applied. Multiple sets will be available to be saved, but you'll have to purchase these outfit slots. And the outfits can even be attached to certain moments or locations. So, for example, if you roll up to your raid, you will swap into your raid gear. Or you go into dungeons, you will swap into your dungeon gear. Or you kick off your boots into your house and now you're in your cozy pajamas in your housing gear. The true endgame just got a whole lot better. And they're working on improvements still. All in all, my takeaway is that this seems to be like the War Within, only more, only better, and I really like the War Within, so I'm very excited. Of course, Alpha Beta is gonna reveal a lot more, but for now, you're up to speed on what's coming with Midnight. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. How are you feeling about what is to come? Are you excited? Is this pulling you back in, or you're not interested at all? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, see ya!
This is just the beginning. We're going to head back to California And in just a few weeks, we're going to have our alpha test beginning. So stay tuned for that with beta to follow. We have so much more to share with you. It's going to be a very exciting fall. We can't wait to see you all in Midnight in early 2026. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of Gamescom.